Are you tired of making big plans that never seem to materialize? Do you find yourself constantly bouncing from one project to the next, never really gaining any traction? If so, buckle up because I'm about to share with you the planning method that literally changed my life. And I know it can do the same for you. You're listening to the Productive Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Tonia Kendrick, and I'm on a mission to help online business owners like you focus on the right things and take imperfect action. Every week, you'll get my best tips on everything from time management and content creation to planning effectively and managing mindset issues, all in an effort to help you become more productive. So let's jump into this episode. I'm so excited to dive into today's topic because 90-day action plans are my secret sauce. I've been using them for 20 plus years, starting back in my corporate days. The most productive times of my life, those periods where I felt completely in control and was crushing my goals, they all had one thing in common. I was working from consecutive 90-day plans. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to create one for yourself. But first, let me tell you why 90-day plans are so powerful. Here's something I say all the time. 90 days is short enough that you don't lose focus, but it's long enough that you can make significant progress toward your goals. It's literally the perfect amount of time for a plan. Think about it. Annual plans often feel overwhelming and distant. Monthly plans, well, they're over before you can gain any real momentum. But 90 days, that's your sweet spot. It's like the Goldilocks of planning. Not too long, not too short, just right. So let's break this down into 4 simple steps that you can implement right after this episode. And before I forget, I have a free 90-day action planner that you can grab on the show notes page at toniakendrick.com/25. It follows the exact process we're going to walk through today. Step 1, review and reflect. The first thing you need to do, and this is non-negotiable, is review and reflect on your last 90 days. Even if you didn't have a formal plan, don't worry, we all have to start somewhere. Think about what you've accomplished. Let me share a personal example. Last quarter, I had a goal to publish 6 new pieces of core content. Guess what? I actually published 7, so yay me. But the quarter wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I also had 45 pages on my website that I wanted to either update or move to ThriveCart in the case of sales pages. I only did 15. So that goal definitely was not successful. Here's what I want you to do for your review. First, list out your wins. What goals did you achieve? Maybe you launched that new product, hit your revenue target, or finally started that email newsletter that you've been putting off. Write them all down. Even the small wins count. Next, analyze what worked well. Did certain marketing strategies bring in more leads? Did specific time management techniques boost your productivity? For me, 2 product promotions were very successful last quarter. Why? Because I focused on building genuine interest before promoting anything. Let me tell you a quick story about this. During one of the promotions, I decided to do something different. Instead of just sending promotional emails, I created a whole email series about the problem that my product solved. My conversion rate was significantly higher compared to previous promotions. That's the kind of insight you want to capture in your review. Finally, be honest about what didn't work. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about learning and adjusting. Those website updates I mentioned, the goal was too high for something that's really administrative work. I still want to update those pages, but I'm not going to kill myself trying to do 45 in a quarter. So I learned something and I can make adjustments. Step 2 is your annual goals check-in. Here's where we zoom out for a minute. Pull out your annual goals. Yes, those big, scary ones that you set at the beginning of the year. If you don't have them written down, no problem. We can work with that too. Let me walk you through my process. I keep my annual goals in 5 main categories: core content, revenue, product development, list building, and other. This might be an admin project or a one-off project that doesn't really fit in my main categories. For each category, I look at where I am versus where I want to be. Let's say your goal is to grow your email list by 5,000 subscribers this year. If you're currently at 3,400, that means you need 1,600 more subscribers to hit your goal. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They try to tackle everything at once, but that's not what we're going to do. Instead, I want you to think about where you want your business to be in 90 days and ask yourself this crucial question: what goals will make the biggest difference in moving your business significantly forward? Not just forward, but significantly forward. This isn't about what you could do or what you should do. This is about what will create the biggest impact. Maybe it's launching that new product you've been thinking about, or signing 3 new high-ticket clients. Whatever it is, get crystal clear on the goal. Step 3, choose your focus projects. Now we're getting to the meat of your plan. I want you to choose 3 business objectives and 1 development objective. Yes, just 3 plus 1. I know it doesn't sound like much, but trust me on this. Here's why. When you try to tackle everything at once, you end up accomplishing nothing. I have been there and done that and got the t-shirt. But when you limit yourself to 3 main business objectives, magic happens. You actually finish things. Let me give you a real example. One of my objectives for this quarter is this 30 podcast episodes in 30 days series. Today is day 6, by the way. Notice that I didn't also try to launch 3 new products and write a book at the same time. Focus is your friend. When choosing your objectives, think about the revenue impact. Which projects will directly contribute to your bottom line? Resource requirements. Do you have the time, money, and skills needed to pull off this project? Dependencies. Are there projects that need to happen in a specific order? And long-term benefits. Will this project continue to pay dividends after completion? And then for your development objective, choose something that will enhance your business skills. Maybe it's learning a new marketing technique, or mastering a software tool, or improving your sales skills. It could even be a habit that you want to establish. For me this quarter, I'm working on a habit to review my notes in Evernote every day and process them using the Zettelkasten method. And I'll drop a link to Zettelkasten in the show notes in case you've never heard of it. Step 4, action items. This is where the rubber meets the road. For each objective, I want you to choose 3 to 5 specific action items. And yes, they need due dates. So let's break down my 30 podcast episodes in 30 days series as an example. Action item number 1 was to create a project plan, and that was due in the first week of the quarter. Action item number 2 was to create a content plan. That was due week 2. And action item number 3 was to outline all the episodes. That was also due in week 2. See how specific these are? There are no vague work on podcast project tasks allowed. Each item should be clear, actionable, and have a definite completion point, something that you can check off. And if you want to know more about how I plan big projects, I share all the details in episode 21. I'll drop a link to it in the show notes. Oh, and here's a pro tip I've learned along the way. When setting due dates, work backward from your end goal and build in buffer time. Things almost always take longer than we expect, so give yourself some wiggle room. Okay, here's what makes this system truly transformational. When you create and execute consecutive 90-day action plans, you're building a system of accountability and consistent forward movement. It's like compound interest for your business goals. Think about it. If you complete just 3 significant projects every 90 days, that's 12 major accomplishments in a year. Imagine where your business could be 12 months from now if you stay focused on your most significant projects. Now, I know you might be thinking, but what if something unexpected comes up? That's exactly why we limit our focus to 3 business objectives. Those extra spaces in your schedule, they're not empty. They're buffer zones for the unexpected opportunities and challenges that inevitably arise. Before we wrap up, I want to give you 3 action steps to take right now. 1, block out 2 hours this week for your review and planning session. Yeah, you really need that much time for your first session, although I promise you will get faster over time. Put it in your calendar right now. 2, choose your 3 business objectives. Remember, just 3. Write them down somewhere that you'll see them every day. I keep mine in a spreadsheet that's open all day, every day. And 3, set specific due dates for every action item. Put them in your calendar or a project management tool like Asana. And I want you to remember this. The more you limit what you focus on, the more you'll actually accomplish. It may seem counterintuitive, but it works every single time. You know what I love most about 90-day planning? It gives you fresh starts 4 times a year. There's no need to wait for January 1st to reset and refocus. Every 90 days, you get a new beginning. You get a new chance to align your actions with your goals. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to hit subscribe. It's the best way to support this free podcast. And don't forget to grab my free 90-day action planning template. I'll link to it in the show notes. I'll be back tomorrow with a review of the Headway app, which is a great option for your development objective, by the way. Until then, and before you go, if you like what you hear on the Productive Entrepreneur podcast, then come check out the Organized Business Toolbox. It's my monthly membership for solo entrepreneurs who want to feel in control and take imperfect action to move their businesses forward. When you join, you'll get instant access to the training and resource vault, and a new toolbox or course drops every month. Plus, we have monthly Voxer office hours where you can privately ask me questions and get my direct feedback. If that sounds like something you need, the link is in the show notes, or visit ToniaKendrick.com, and I'll see you on the inside.